Hey guys, Camp15 back at it with another video for you guys. Back at it with another My Hero Academia Vigilantes episode review for you guys. As we continue on with more My Hero Academia. And this episode was quite interesting. We get introduced to a new character. And shockingly, she's actually revealed to be the sister of Tsukauchi. I did not expect that. At first, when I saw that scene and Tsukauchi walked in, at first I thought like that was maybe his wife or something. But then no, that's just his sister who is basically a senior in college, right? And everything. And basically she went up to Koichi to basically talk about, you know, what the hell vigilantes are doing and stuff like that, in comparison to what heroes do and things like that. And it was quite actually interesting to say the least. Um, Trust and believe, bro. Like this girl was definitely digging for the truth. And I don't know if she's like maybe interested in Koichi. I don't know if she maybe has a crush on him. She's a senior, and it's funny because you have these other girls where these other girls are like, "Oh, Makoto, don't act like a cougar now." I'm just like, "What the hell, bro?" But anyways, he basically we kind of get the breakdown of society and how it got started, and he basically invites her over to his house. So this time it wasn't a girl that gets scared in the daylights of his house because he brought this girl to the day, in the daytime to his house, and he's like, hold on, let me get things all straight up and everything. This man Koichi also, I guess you can say kind of say he's kind of smitten with her too, because there's times in this episode where he gets flustered. Well, I wouldn't say he gets flustered, but he starts blushing because he can clearly tell like, oh, she's an attractive girl and everything. So the thing is, Popstep was actually hanging out there, right? And Popstep overhears Koichi talking to this girl, and she's like, "Who the hell is this floozy?" And basically, she goes in and hides. And Koichi, as he's cleaning, he's throwing like basically everything in where she's hiding at, right? So Koichi invites her in, right? And the thing is, it's funny because in this entire episode, bro, it's effing clear that okay, look, it makes it. This episode makes it ever more clear that Popstep had. Hold on, guys. Okay. But as I was saying, this episode makes it ever more clear that Popstep definitely has feelings for Koichi, especially after the episode where it was revealed that he saved her and he gave her, his one of his All Might jackets and everything. This episode makes it 100% clear because it's not only in this scene where she's talking to Koichi and you can see her head peering out of the freaking out of the apron or what is it, the covers, right? And you can see how she's getting all pissed off. Like she literally was spying on them on their, I guess you can say, their date or something, even though it was like, oh, we're doing this analyzation of this like work and everything and get people's perspectives about basically Koichi, her, and Knuckle Duster, right? And she's literally watching them saying like, I don't understand why he's looking at her so much when he could look at me. I'm just like, oh, I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, this girl is freaking jealous as shit, bro. So basically we kind of get the rundown of how heroes kind of became a thing. So way back when, because we remember from the main show that there was an age in the MHA verse where people just magically got quirks and that's what happened. And we kind of find out like how quirks ended up becoming a society, how hero society became a thing. So basically we had it where people were getting quirks, and at that point in time people were seen as vigilantes, but people were doing good things with the quirks and everything, and yet there was no like laws in place for them to do anything. So again, they were vigilantes, but eventually I think the girl mentioned, Makoto mentioned in the state of Rhode Island, because this started with then the United States, that that's when this hero establishment arc began. So then the people who were doing those things, they ended up becoming heroes, and that's how the hero stuff got started, right? and that's obviously how it spread around to other countries, and how it's how it spread to other countries and stuff like that, and how they basically got, things spread around and everything, right? So you basically got the whole you got the whole piece of like how did Hero start, and it was actually quite interesting, and getting like a pretty good accurate backstory, which shockingly enough, you would think they would talk about like how heroes came to be, or the existence of heroes came to be in the main show of MHA, but the fact that we got it here in the side show, or the side series, of how heroes came to be and everything, that's crazy. But she basically kind of wants to observe and gets kind of the understanding and the basis of like, what do people think, excuse me, of Knuckle Duster, Pop Step, and then obviously Koichi's hero, the Crawler, right? But and kind of see like, okay, what the hell is going on there? So she's like, hey, meet me on Saturday and we can go work together and get this information. Now, Koichi's like, oh, okay. And he's like, well, I'm kind of one of them, but nothing to do there. But she's like, you know what? I'll help this girl, this cute girl, and everything. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, whatever. She ends up leaving. She's like, well, I'll see you Saturday. And he closes the door and he's leaving. He's like, well, even though it's kind of weird that I'm going to be basically trying to spy for myself or get information about myself and everything, I am going to be with hers. And, hey, there is its perks. And you can clearly tell, like, Koichi's just like, okay, I get to go out with the upperclassmen. This is me and her. And then freaking Pops up is like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, oh, Pop, what the heck? So this then leads to a scene where she basically is at home and everything, and this is when it's revealed that she basically is she's the younger sister to Tsukauchi, which is pretty damn interesting. Now Tsukauchi basically kind of like gives her this warning, like, hey, look, I understand what you're trying to do, but honestly, I don't think you should get involved in this because it can get quite dangerous. So I don't know if that's like a premonition or a future thing where maybe she's gonna get herself in danger and maybe she gets killed. I don't know. We don't see her at all in the main show unless, she's off doing whatever she's doing, right? On her own thing. Maybe she moved to another country in the main series and we didn't know. But I wonder if she, you know, when I saw this part on Tsukauchi giving her this warning, it's like, oh, look, I think you should stop this. It definitely gave me death flags, and stuff like that. Again, this is a prequel series to the main show, so again, for all we know, if you read the manga, you probably know what happens to her. Again, don't spoil it for me because I'm an anime only, right? Maybe she is still alive. I'm gonna give my best prediction, like, she's definitely a casualty in terms of like she potentially could be on Death Note, or like I guess Death Flag Alert, because of Tsukauchi's warnings and the fact that she's trying to find out like all about vigilantes and stuff like that, and heroes and villains and things like that. And it's like, okay, I don't know if you should be going into this stuff, and we'll see. But we don't see her at all in the main show. Tsukauchi doesn't even make a mention about her in the main show, or the main series. So maybe it could be a thing where she ended up getting caught in the crossfire and she ended up dying. I don't know. But yeah, that's the thing. She does even try to say like, hey, do you know anybody of big? And they do pan to All Might because we know Tsukauchi knows All Might and is a personal connection with All Might too. So, who knows? But yeah, but anyways, at least to the Saturday, I guess you can say, date where they're going around, Makoto and Koichi are going around looking to get information. It's funny to see Popstep just like, why can't he's always looking at her, but he can't look at me. Also, I also find it funny because Koichi was also training with Knuckle Duster before this, and it's clear like he's learned some new tips and everything, some new tricks and how to, like, I guess, defend for himself. And it's funny because Pops was just watching this and she's just giving him the shit, and basically Knuckle Duster's like, the hell is wrong with her? And Koichi's like, I don't know, she's been like that since like a few days ago. And I'm just like, bro, Koichi, I'm like, Pop Steps making it so damn easy. Hold on, guys. So yes, it's really much clear that Pop Step is jealous of Koichi being are getting close to this girl. So they're just basically doing some observations and stuff like that. People give their reasonings of like their descriptions of Knuckle Duster, Pop Step, and basically Koichi the Crawler. And it's absolutely hilarious, right? They call basically Knuckle Duster scary and everything. They call basically Koichi the Crawler or the Crueler, right? They call him the Crueler. Um, they call him. They basically say like, yeah, he's a good dude. You know, he helps out, but honestly, he's kind of creepy. Like this one person's like, if I'm being honest, like he's sliding around all over the place, and like, what if he can see up people's skirts and shit like that? And I'm just like, what the hell? And then you just have it to where like half the people who are talking about Pop Step, bro, is talking about her butt, bro. Like you have these two kids that said, "Oh, Pop Step, yeah, she really cute," and then you have this one kid, like literally something out of like The Simpsons, just freaking stick his ass out, and he's like, "Here's the butt too." I'm just like, and almost every guy's like, "Oh yeah, that girl, she got some booty to her," and I'm just like, and that's the number one thing that came out from Pop Step's readings of what people said, the fact that she basically, in people's eyes, she has a big ass. Which is funny because there are actual like real life MHA fans that are actually upset like they censored her, which personally I don't really care. But, look, makes sense why they did that because obviously she's like a high schooler. She's a high school girl, but it's like, dog, why do you want to see a high school girl basically wearing the uncensored costume? Like censor her up, please. And it's not no big difference from like how the manga design looks anyways. But I just found that to be absolutely hilarious that people were coming away and they're just like, yeah, Pop Step has a big ass. That's that. Yeah, we like that. I'm just like, dog, come on now. I'm like, y'all people freaks, bro. Y'all people are freaks. But you have it to where this penguin looking skating guy was like just comes in and steals people's things. He can kick soccer balls and shit like that. Koichi goes into action, and essentially it looked like it was gonna be oh, she's gonna find out and everything, because eventually the penguin dude gets stopped, right? But Koichi gives her back her laptop, being Koichi, and eventually, you know, at the end of the episode, she basically shakes his hand and asks like, "So, are you the Crueler?" And Koichi's like, "No, I'm not." And it's true. And we find out that her quirk, Makoto's quirk, is essentially kind of like an actual like lie detector. So she can actually tell if somebody's lying once she shakes their hand or something, right? And the reason why there was no truth is the fact that she didn't call him the Crawler, because Koichi calls himself the Crawler. That's his official hero name, right? And it's not the Crueler. So because of her butchering his hero name, or his hero name, right? It didn't reveal in the lie detector, like, oh no, that's the thing. But it's very much clear, like, hey, she was definitely on to him and thinking like maybe he's actually the Crawler or the Crueler, right? But you know, nope. That's the thing. And honestly, smart deducing from her, because it's like, okay, this dude just randomly out the blue just says like he's gonna go save my laptop, and he runs into an alleyway. Hmm, that seems very obvious that he's basically the vigilante that I've been looking for, right? And it's clear that she wants to find and look and talk with them, right? And the thing is, it's gonna be interesting if he ends up finding out, if she ends up actually finding out like, hey, that's the thing, right? So yeah, she's apparently gonna appear in next week's episode, and we see that other new hero we see in the opening. I guess maybe he might be hitting on her or something. And it seems like, from what it looks like, Koichi might be getting a little bit jealous, while Pop Step is getting jealous of the fact that Koichi's paying so much attention to her instead of instead of Koichi paying attention to her. Whatever. It's just funny, bro. I don't know if Koichi maybe endgame with Makoto when he's gonna end up dating her. I still think maybe him and Pop Step maybe endgame. I don't know. We'll see. But again, like I said, it's gonna be very interesting once the show concludes. You know, are we gonna actually see like what the hell happens to them, you know, and stuff like that. I'll also be very much interested if you know, if we, you know, in the final season of the main show, we see maybe a cut to them if they're still like okay by the end of this show, and everything. So who knows? But yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit the subscribe button if you want to get more My Hero Academia content or any other anime content I upload to the channel. Until then, guys, you stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day or your night. I'm watching this video. Until then, guys, peace.